Good evening, everyone. Those that are joining us online this evening, and that's Councillor Lizzie Hacking, Councillor Jowan, Councillor Colleen, and Councillor Mrs. Kirby Green, and any other members of the public are joining us this evening. May I have authority, please, to sign the minutes of the meeting of the Human Resources Committee held on the 21st of October 2024 as a correct record of the proceedings?
So move.
Thank you. A second on that? Thank you very much indeed. Oops. Okay. Apologies and substitutes?
None received, Chair.
Any additional agenda items?
No, there are none.
Disclosure of interests and dispensations. To receive any disclosures by members of disclosable pecuniary interests and other registrable interests and non-registrable interests in matters on the agenda and the nature of any interest and details of any dispensations obtained. Members are reminded of the need to repeat their declaration immediately prior to the commencement of the item in question. Okay. Well, it's nice to welcome Belinda, our new HR manager, to. Is this your first? Yes, it would be, wouldn't it? Yes, of course. And accompanied by Anna, head of corporate and strategic services. My eyes are getting bad. Sorry. Okay. So tonight's agenda, item 5, and welcome, Belinda. It's nice to see you here, and I know you've been working full out since you've arrived. So the agenda item 5 is the Fit for the Future programme, People Programme final report. So this is your report, Anna. Yep. And to provide the Human Resources Committee with a final report on the Fit for the Future People programme of work and revised People Strategy Action Plan in light of the People/Human Resources team changes. Over to you, if I may. Thank you.
Thank you, and hello, everybody. So as the Chairman said, this is to note the update on the People programme, and you will see from the report that most of the actions on the People programme have been delivered, and this is to note progress and also consider a slightly slimmed down programme for the future, bearing in mind that we're going into local government reorganisation and devolution, and some of the bigger things that would take a bit longer to implement, we might not be able to do. So I'll just go through my report and then take any questions on the plan, if that's okay. So turning to my report, priority for the programme was to establish a new organisational design model and to recruit to newly established roles. This is practically complete, and it's only the Director of Governance and Community Services that has now been recruited but won't start until June of this year, which is really good news. The other key recommendation in the programme was to implement a new HR system, and you will know from the last report just before Christmas that we were making progress with the iTrent HR system. However, in light of the announcement that came quite out of the blue with local government reorganisation, we've taken the decision not to continue with the implementation of the new system. The main reasons being that currently all districts and boroughs and the county is on different HR systems, and it would seem to be a waste of resources really to spend that amount of money plus the time taken to implement it when at some point there's going to need to be a harmonisation of systems. Moving on from that, we will be looking at other things, other systems for the HR replacement, but we can actually continue as we are. Our main priority in going into local government reorganisation is just to make sure that our data is clean and that we have all the right information in terms of our employee details. And we can actually do that easily in-house without implementing a new system. So you will see from my report, turning to paragraph 12 and options, that there are 3 different options presented in relation to the plan. One is to do nothing, take no further action. Option 2 is to note the final people programme update and agree the updated people strategy action plan to be delivered. Or 3, as option 2, with the addition of commissioning additional external support for the people team. The recommendation is to do option 2, and you will see from Appendix A what has been delivered in terms of the strategy and what the next steps are proposed to be. So really, I'm just open to questions now on the plan and anything else in the report.
Thank you very much, Anna. Councillor Vicky Cook.
Thank you. Just a couple of questions, really. If it's in bold, I'm looking at Appendix A now. If it's in bold and it's got 2024 to 25, does that mean that's been completed, or does that mean that's still ongoing?
Yep, that's generally completed, and you will see from the box beneath the objective, and it says exactly what has been completed.
I think it's a splendid report. Thank you very much indeed. I mean, I think you're right not to go changing a system now. A, for finance, B, for you'd have to start training everybody. And if you're all really comfortable and happy with the system, I would absolutely agree with you to stick with the status quo. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. Are there any other questions? Any colleagues online? No. Perhaps no. No. Okay. Andrew, did you have any observation on this at all? And Belinda, any comment at all? That no, I think it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, jolly good. Okay, thank you for that. And we need to move this and second it.
Happy to move.
And those in favour? Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for that report. Yes. Where are we now? So we've moved on to the next item, which is agenda item 6. This again is Anna's report, Head of Corporate and Strategic Services, to seek Human Resources Committee approval to update pension discretions, increasing flexibility and aligning it with neighbouring authorities. Now, this is something that hasn't been done and that is in line with everybody else, I understand. Perhaps you could just give us an indication of what exactly we are looking to bring in line with everybody else and the reasons for it, please, Anna.
At the moment, if we have a member of staff that wants to take flexible retirement, we don't have any discretion to be able to do that. We are obligated to review our pensions discretions every year, and this year we would like to bring in the discretion where people can exercise their flexible retirement. If people do want to do that, and we think it would be a really good retention tool, with the announcement of local government reorganisation, we've already seen a spike in resignations. We're hoping that this is going to settle over the coming months, but we have got a large workforce of over 50s, and I strongly feel that having a discretion where people can exercise their early retirement options will mean that we can keep the expertise and those individuals within Rother. We've surveyed our neighbouring districts and boroughs, and you will see from the report that our neighbours do offer those flexible pension discretions, and this will bring us in line with Wealdon and also with East Sussex County Council. So it's something that I do feel quite strongly about, really, and I think it's an extra tool in our toolbox of recruitment and retention, and will help us keep those very skilled people that we've got in the over 50, over 55 age bracket.
Thank you, Anna. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I'd just like to ask, does this mean if we sort of come into line with everybody else, does this make it easier for our staff to move to other council jobs and take in a pension with them? Don't really understand a lot about pensions. And does it mean that people coming in can bring their pensions if they've been working with a local council? So, I mean, if say our clerk at Battletown Council came in, they're on the East Sussex County Council pension scheme. Would they be able to bring their pension with them? Does that make it a little bit easier if they do that?
I'll also ask for Belinda's view on this, but definitely yes. If people are in the local government pension scheme, it is the one pension scheme for everybody.
But there's 86 pension funds across the UK, and they're all individual funds, but East Sussex County Council is one of those 86 funds. But if you move anywhere in local government, you've got a year to put all of your pensions together, which is an opportunity for anybody to move their pensions into the fund that they're currently within. This discretion is about being able to draw down some of your pension and carry on working, and most local authorities in this day and age will have that as a discretion. It is a discretion, it isn't an automatic right, but it allows the flexibility for the council to consider whether or not they want to allow somebody to draw some of their pension and then reduce their working hours. And I think it's a really good retention tool for highly skilled people that may choose to leave the workforce or leave this council because they're not operating in that discretion.
That's a really helpful explanation, Belinda. Thank you very much.
So the discretion is at the behest of whom? The chief executive? Thank you. So this is a much more flexible opportunity for staff to move, and also from our point of view, it helps the retention of staff because they've got this discretion with the changes coming forward. We've got a couple of questions online. Ash, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. I think it's a really good tool, as Anna said, to be able to align that to certainly taking the existing practice from our neighbouring councils. So it'd be good to align that and give greater discretion to what is currently afforded. My only question just on the report is where we are citing that the approval is done by the Chief Executive, Section 151 officer, and in consultation with the heads of service. Do we have separate policies for those staff members within the council? Because ordinarily with HR policies, they're usually applicable to all employees or particular segments. So what I couldn't see from this report is there a separate policy for those officers, or do we need to have a contingency as to what the scenario would be for those people? I appreciate they're probably a long way off retirement and not thinking about it, but I think when you're revising a policy, it's prudent to cover all aspects. Thank you.
Would you like to answer that, Belinda, please?
Well, certainly up to director level, the chief executive would sign it off, and there is a draft policy which runs alongside this report. But the discretion for the pensions is equally applicable to all staff. There's no separate arrangements for other senior staff members like there would be for, say, example, disciplinary processes. You know, this is across the board for everybody.
Does that cover off your question, Ash?
So just on that basis then, what would be our policy if one of those officers were wanting to exercise their rights, because that's not explicitly stated in the report as to who would then approve that business case?
My only hesitation is if it was the chief executive, but up to all the directors, the chief executive would be able to approve it. I'd have to double check about what would happen if the chief executive requested it. That might be in the constitution, but I'd have to double check that.
Okay, thank you.
Too young anyway.
Andrew, did you have a...
I was just going to say that the chief exec is far too young to be caught in this, isn't it? And I'm sure if it was my post, then I've got a deputy 151 who I'm sure would step in.
Any other questions? No? No? Okay. So So given the fact that we're being asked to resolve that the benefits, we know the benefits are there, so we need to propose this and make that a facility that's now available. Why has it taken such a long time for us to be in line? Do we know is there any reason? It seems to be something that got overlooked or something.
I don't know. It's always good to have a fresh pair of eyes, though, and I think there is. You'll see that we'll be reviewing quite a lot of our policies over the next couple of years. We'll probably be looking at a lot of the East Sussex County Council policies, which a lot of our district and boroughs also use. So there will be a few reviews coming along.
And I suppose that if the whole devolution LGR goes forward, things will need to be streamlined for all the right sort of reasons. But we're there yet, but we might as well get ourselves in situ, I suppose, in readiness. And I know you've been working flat out, Belinda, since you've been here. It seems a very short period of time, but I know you've shifted an awful lot of work to get us to where we are. So if we can just, those move, second, those in favour, jolly good, and that's a unanimous decision. So that takes us where we need to be. Is that the end of the meeting, or we keep going? Is that it? Oh, thank you everybody for attending online. It's, 6:47? Could be a record. So have a nice evening. It's a little bit chilly here in Bexhill, but I'm sure it's really nice where you are. We close the meeting.